I hit record. Hey, welcome to the Get Out of Gaming podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Ben.
I'm Alex.
And you just kind of got the start of me hitting the wrong button for a while, but we are normally the podcast. It's the bi-weekly podcast. We talk about everything nerdy, geeky, kind of stuff we want to talk about, whether it's video games, anime, movies, TV. If it's nerdy, we will probably talk about it. Great kind of show today. We are got some good things to kind of talk about. Before we do that, though, Alex, how have you been?
I've been pretty good.
Okay, what you cannot see is Alex has made a very, very good purchase for some Homestar Runner things. He has a Homestar puppet, but he also has a strong bad stuffy that makes noise. The
I do. So I have this Homestar Runner thing that I got from Fangamer because it like just came out. You can even spin his buzzer. It does not play the theme from Night Court, unfortunately. That's a deep cut for people who don't know Homestar Runner. And then I also have this opposable, or posable, not opposable. I was thinking about opposable thumb since he doesn't have any because he's wearing boxing gloves. But posable, strong bad, but he also talks and holy crap. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, that was money. I guess we'll just get right into that. So I purchased those along with some Dangeresque glasses. I emailed Fangamer and I've also tweeted at them, but essentially they packaged this pretty poorly. It was open in my mailbox, like the whole package was. It was in a bubble mailer type thing, like it was in like one of those like I'm gonna put clothing in here type mailers. And so because of that, I think they just like stuffed those in, but then when they started to expand, it opened up the mailer and then it ripped it open because like there's a clean rip on there. It doesn't look like someone see like it looks like it might have been sealed properly at the time. It just looks like it came apart and like you can see like a bunch of stuff on the mailer or whatever. You can see a bunch of like I don't know, like grass or sticks or whatever, like stuff just from like
oh
being
yeah,
transported from place to place. So I also didn't have an invoice in there. And so thankfully, because these two things were pretty big, they, and in their own bags, they didn't just like get damaged or whatever. But I am missing the Dangerous Cool glasses. So hopefully they reach out to me soon so I can get those glasses. I bought from Fangamer before. I've never really had this issue before. I have bought from them at least maybe 3 times. Because I got that Mother 3 guide a while back.
oh yeah.
That was like the unofficial like travel guide. I've bought a Legends of Localization thing about like the original Zelda once for a friend, and something else probably, I don't know, but now I'm like a little bit concerned because if this is how they package stuff, I don't know. Like there's a lot of cool stuff on there, but these should have been in a box or something.
Oh yeah.
So
As somebody that does resell on the side just to pay for that monstrosity, if you're watching the monstrosity of NES games back there, I make sure everything I send out is well taken care of because the last thing I want is to lose something, get broken, or be sent back, and so that sucks. Um, are you playing anything right now? Are you watching anything right now?
Yeah, I guess so. I was swallowing water because I just drank a bunch of water. Um, so I think I talked about it last week. No, I guess I didn't. I got a copy. It's somewhere over here, so I can't show it. I got a copy of Torna recently. So I started that. So I've been playing a little bit of that. For people who don't know, Torna is, I think it's called like Torna, the Golden Country, or I was like county. It's definitely not county. Uh,
County.
yeah, Golden County here in Indiana. Um, so it's a prequel to Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Um, but it also has a lot of like DLC, like it has the expansion pass in there. But the DLC is so massive, I guess, or like the game is like pretty much like a full-fledged game. I want to say it's smaller than Xenoblade, but like I want to say it's like a 20-hour game maybe. Um, so because of that, they released it just on its own because they're confident enough, like, hey, you could just play this and enjoy this if you really wanted to. And probably is the answer. I don't like playing things out of order. Like, yes, it's chronologically first, but whenever something is made as a prequel, that means that they expect you to have prior knowledge of the actual product, and then you go back because, like, oh, that's referencing this. It's like I don't know. There's a lot of different shows and things that you could probably see that with, but um, one in particular is I hope he's not listening, but one in particular is like Fate Stay Night or something, and then there's Fate Zero. Plenty of people just start with Fate Zero first, but Fate Zero it's a prequel. Like it spoils things. It straight up just spoils things that
Yeah.
might be plot points for the original entity, because it's a light novel that was converted into an anime. So like, yes, you could technically watch that first. Yes, you could technically play Torna first, but like you're losing a lot of the experience because you want to play something in chronological order. And I think, I don't know, do what you want to do, but it's not right. As Jackie Chan says in Rush Hour 2, it's not right. Um,
Yeah, I'm the same way. If I'm watching something or playing it, I gotta watch it in order. Hence why I've not watched Dune 2 because I've never got through Dune 1. Uh I will watch it eventually. I just 3 hours. Ugh. Are you watching anything right now or
um, yeah, I mean, I guess we'll not to go too much onto it because of potential future episodes and stuff like that. But like, I finished the Avatar Netflix live action show. Um, that is 8 episodes long, I believe, about an hour each, and then they've already confirmed season 2, season 3.
that's awesome by the way.
So yeah, so we'll see how that goes. um, I don't really want to say much about my opinions or whatever on this particular episode because this isn't what that's about. Um, but it is it's definitely an interesting watch. I will say
Yeah.
that it's not abysmal. It's not ruining your childhood. It's not as bad as everyone says that it is. My stance on these kind of things is that if it was exactly the same thing, like what these fans want, fans, quote unquote fans, I don't know, maybe they're actually fans. If it was just exact shot for shot remake and retelling, why does it have to exist?
Right.
Like it should expound upon like certain things. It should be a little different because otherwise, like, you already have an almost perfect show there with the original, so you don't need to create something that's just the same thing again. Like
Yeah.
it's stupid in my opinion.
Yeah. I've been watching it too, but I'm what's gonna worry me is the that new Star Wars show, The Accolade, comes
Acolyte.
out here, Acolyte next month.
Mm.
And I will probably be watching those as they come out. It literally looks like Jedi Kung Fu. I'm not even kidding. That's what it looks like.
Are you ready for us to hate it for some reason and everyone else to love it, or vice versa?
I hope
Andor
not.
all over again?
I mean, I hope not because there was like in the last trailer. This is not. No one's seen it. I'm sure people have seen it, but in the last trailer, they had a Wookiee Jedi fighting. So
I wonder
that's
if it's
where
that
you
same
would.
Wookiee from. Or
I
wait,
mean,
no, Acolyte takes place way in the past.
yeah, it takes place before Episode 1.
Yeah, okay.
So,
So never mind then. It's not that same Wookiee. I was thinking of the Wookiee from like Clone Wars
oh
and like
yeah,
Rebels and stuff, because there is just a Wookiee who survived Order 66, I believe.
yeah.
But
So
no.
that should be interesting there. But yeah, I totally agree with you on it. I think it's much better than the M Night Shyamalan version.
Oh, 100%.
Much better.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
and I don't want to go in it either because we maybe talk about it on an episode, maybe not. So yeah,
um I do do I want to go on a rampage and a tirade or whatever and talk about something? I don't know, maybe. I was gonna complain, because why not? This episode, I don't know. We can do whatever we want. Um, okay, yeah, sure. Andor's bad. It's bad. He's the worst character in Rogue One.
yeah.
It's true.
I tried watching it. I couldn't. I think if you're going to pick a character from there, and this is not just me with my background, I think the two people from the Jedi order that were like guards and stuff, or like Donnie Yen's character would have been better. But I gave it a good go. Just was not. I couldn't get into it because I don't have that feeling for that character.
Yeah, exactly. And like you already know what's gonna happen because you watch Rogue One. So what's the point? But also like maybe they did choose the most like generic character on purpose for this show because they wanted to talk more about the politics and all these other things around the character. So maybe they did just choose a not interesting character on purpose. I don't know. Maybe I'm
Mhm.
making people angry. I don't know. You know what? I'm just gonna say it too. Ben, I'm sorry to say, I'm starting to not like Rogue One as much as I used to.
I mean,
I
it's
think it's
got
still
it.
a fine film, but I don't think it's
Yeah,
a good Star Wars film.
and it's got its moments. It's funny because they show like obviously the one general has been Peter Cushing's character has been passed away for a while. That CG was good, but then the Princess Leia CG is just awful. It's like we ran out of money. But
Yeah,
nothing
just enough
beats
to
the
show
whole.
Tarkin.
Yeah, uh, nothing beats the entire scene with Darth Vader evading the ship. That's what we've been wanting to see for a long time of Darth Vader.
I just think it's hilarious though in context. Like if you watch that scene where he's like massacring everything, and then as soon as that door opens up, then it's just A New Hope, and then he's just like barely doing anything at all. Like it's just
Yeah,
funny how much like actual um active lightsaber and force manipulation he's doing in Rogue One scene, and then the rest of A New Hope he's just like I'm tired right now. I don't want to.
I mean, if you look at even Obi-Wan, he was awesome at Obi-Wan. I mean, he pulled a ship down.
Well,
You know,
also that was well, like what's his face was in there, was in that bot. Well, I don't know if he was in the body necessarily, but like
I think it was Hayden Christensen.
yeah, I don't know if he was in it the whole time, but like I know there's like a part where like his mask or whatever, like you could see him for a little bit or something. But yeah, now we're just talking about Star Wars. This is a podcast about Star Wars, apparently, about how Star Wars is cool. For the most part, I still need to beat the other game. I barely played it because they need to make an update. Um, for Last Order. Out no, what's it called?
Oh my gosh, I think it something along those lines.
Fallen Order.
And then yes, and they also need to make sure that they put him in the Star Wars universe somewhere because I want to see him. There you go. Instead of doing Andor, why don't they just do a live action of him?
Because he's not going to be like I don't think the game canon is connected at all, at least yet. We'll see.
I really hope they do get him in something, not have his own show or anything, but at least have him in
or alluded to or something.
Yeah,
Just be like, yeah, Cal Kestis is doing this thing.
because I mean, this is all after Order 88,
66.
66. Yeah, this is all after that. So obviously that game takes place years after the first game.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a lot older. I mean, it definitely could put him in that same
Well,
universe. So.
yeah, because it's kind of I don't want to go into specifics or whatever, but like it's kind of tied into maybe like Rebels or whatever, because there's like a certain part in Rebels near the end or near the middle where they find like a list of kids essentially.
Oh
um
yeah,
and so like that's the whole point of the first Star Wars Star Wars game, I want to say, was like, oh, we found this thing, and it's a list of force sensitive kids or whatever, and we want to protect them and all that kind of stuff. I think that was Rebels. It might have been in the other thing too. It might have been in
yeah.
Ahsoka. And no,
I don't think it was though.
it might have been in Mandalorian. But anyway, Star Wars. Star Wars. We're talking too much about Star Wars, but that's okay. Yeah, I'm trying to think of if I've done anything else in the past couple weeks or whatever. I mean, I bought stuff. I always buy stuff. Yesterday I bought, because at the time of recording, it was like Memorial Day weekend and all that. I bought a bootleg, like a Chinese bootleg, legit, of Dot Hack Sign.
There's nothing wrong with bootlegs. I have an Outlaw Star bootleg, so it's okay.
Well, it's back here somewhere, but like it was like less than $5. And I think it's the whole show. I'm never gonna watch it, but it has interesting like cover art and stuff like that, and it's Dot Hack, and like I'd rather me buy it, who's not gonna use it, than someone else buy it who's gonna use it and probably enjoy it. I don't know. I just I don't like seeing bootlegs generally. I have a weird thing about bootlegs, so like I don't want to see them. I don't want people to buy them because they're always an inferior product. But yeah, I bought it because I own all the other stuff, so sure, I might as well, because it's a novelty at that point. I'm buying it for the cardboard. I'm not buying it for
Yeah.
the show. But yeah, I'm buying it, and then because of that, then someone's not gonna watch it and maybe be disappointed because of the quality of the bootleg. Um, so I'm saving them, I guess, maybe by buying this bootleg. I forget what else I bought. I don't know. I bought some other stuff recently. I don't see it. I bought some. I bought Oh, I bought The Critic. I haven't watched it yet. The
Uh, it had its moments for me. It wasn't like it was not like
John Lovitz.
I think it was on. Wasn't it on? No, it was never on Adult Swim.
It was a UPN show, I think. Well, it was a Fox and UPN, maybe.
Yeah, because I remember at one point, I don't know, it was Carmen Central, but they used to show that show and then Duckman.
I've
No,
never
maybe
seen
that's a different
Duckman,
show.
but that's the one with Jason Alexander, right?
Yeah, and so I remember watching them, but I think it's one of those things where it was like kind of like the way Family Guy got on Adult Swim because they just kept showing the same episodes over. You're
Yeah.
like, I have it on as background noise.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm like, I would never buy a season of it.
It was. I mean, it was the whole show of it for like $5.
That's
So,
not bad.
so I was like, yeah, I'll try. And it's like 22 episodes or something. I've seen the episode "A Star Is Burns" or whatever, which is a Simpsons episode where it's a crossover with The Critic and The Simpsons. And Matt Groening hated the idea so much that I'm pretty sure his name isn't like on the credits and like in the opening credits or anything,
Oh wow.
because he was just like, this is stupid. I don't want to do a crossover with The Critic, but because people left and made The Critic who worked on The Simpsons, I think that's why they wanted to do a crossover thing. because like it sounds like maybe like Fox mandated it or something to try to help boost each other up, and it's a fine episode. Um, I think it was in our meme chat recently. I think that Pog one was not the Pog specifically, because the Alf and Pog form is from a different episode. But the Smithers, I'm home. Yes. That's from The Stars Burns, I believe. But yeah, we'll see how I think his name is Jace Sherman. I think that's the name.
Yep.
But yeah, I've never seen it before. I've seen like bits and pieces maybe. You're right. I think I maybe did see like a rerun or something on Comedy Central, but that makes sense that it was on Comedy Central actually, because well, I guess was that a UPN show as well? Because it had an ad for Dilbert. And
Yeah.
I own Dilbert on DVD because I used to love that show as a kid. I should have been watching it as a kid, but I loved it. I was a kid, take this what you will, who I think I've said this before, but I was a kid who just used to just read Dilbert comics, just like the big ones all the time, just like in school, and I was like 5th grade, 6th grade, just with my big old Dilbert comics and reading those instead of like I don't know, reading Harry Potter or something. I eventually did read Harry Potter, but you know what I mean, like reading
Oh
that
yeah.
instead of that. But what's his name? Scott Adams. He's a jerk. So like, don't support that guy anymore because like he's a very heavily in the politics, very heavy into just like bad thing. I think racist things. So like separate the art from the artist obviously, but also like this stuff is like way older than that. I think he got kicked off of like the newspapers because of what he was saying.
Yeah, I think so.
So yeah, don't support Scott Adams, I guess, but get your Dilberts from a local library. um but yeah, and then I guess the last thing, because I'm already talking about just what things I bought recently. I bought even though it's ironic because I need to blow my nose or something, but I bought two comic books of something called Snot Girl, which is a comic book series by Brian Lee O'Malley and someone else. I don't remember who it is, but Brian Lee O'Malley is the person who did Scott Pilgrim in
Oh, nice.
Seconds and The Lost at Sea. And the main difference with this is that Brian Lee O'Malley helps write it, but he's not doing the art. So it's an actual like comic book series. It's less um, caricature type art, and it's more like not legit art, but like more realistic, I would say, or more what you're akin to maybe like a DC or a image or like Vertigo, like I don't know, like normal type of art that you would see.
Yeah.
So we'll see how those go. I only have two of them. They're really really cheap. So I think I got them for like $6 a piece. There's one more volume, but then it's on infinite hiatus. So hopefully it's good, but at the same time, if it's bad, it's on infinite hiatus, so it doesn't matter. But what
Yeah.
about you? What have you been watching? What have you been playing? What have you been buying? What have you been seeing?
Well, I'll start off by saying once a year, I think once a year, I like to watch the old Planet of the Apes movies. So I start off with the original one with Charlton Heston and watch through the whole series. Because of the new one in theaters, Hulu put all the old ones on there. So I rewatched them all again. And then by the time I get to the end of it, I'm like, God, some of these were just not written well.
Are you going
Uh,
to watch um A Fish Called Selma from season 7 of The Simpsons, where
uh,
Troy McClure does the Planet of the Apes singing or whatever?
no, but I saw your clip the other day that you posted in the Simpsons meme, and I had to laugh because
That
I was
that might have been
literally
Zach actually posted that.
maybe Zach did it. I don't know, but it was so funny because I had just got done watching the second one, I think, in Dr. Zayers, and I was like, oh my gosh. So how funny is it that I'm right at a point where he's still in it,
Yeah.
and they're making fun of the movie with another movie called Amadeus, and the one song that came from there, which is the weirdest combination of song for that type of movie. Uh, you had me at the breakdancing.
I love that gif of no, I love the gif of the breakdancing, and then I really love the one ape who is just like discoing. He's just like
Yes.
Dr. Zayas. Like it's the best part.
Yeah, I
Or
think,
the ending is great too.
yeah. I mean, these movies are great. It's crazy to think at some point when these came out, people were terrified.
Yeah, I know my mom hated them, like because she was like legit like these are creepy, and she doesn't like them.
Yeah,
Whereas like my grandma, when she was alive, we would watch a lot of sci-fi and stuff together because she really liked Terminator for some reason.
oh,
She
yeah.
she really liked Planet of the Apes. We even I think we went to theaters to see the Tim Burton Planet of the Apes movie.
Oh, what a train wreck that was. I
Yeah,
love Tim Burton, um, but gosh, that was just not good. I think Tim Roth took it too far as the one character.
yeah.
But these are great. They're good to watch. They're all PG, so you could. I mean, my kids watched it, and my little ones, and they're like, people were scared. I'm like, oh no, people ran out of the theater. I felt bad because you're talking about people wearing these costumes in the middle of the desert
It's so
for what,
hot.
13, 14 hours.
Yeah.
Um, but I watched those. I haven't really watched too much. I think I finished up Abbott Elementary, had like 4 episodes. I watched those. But the big video game news is after 37 years, I finished Mario 2. Um, I did it on the Switch. I'm not going to say I didn't use rewind sometimes because that did happen. But when you get to like World 7, there's a whole stage that's like backwards.
Hmm.
And I was able to figure that out because I would always go to the right, because that type of game, you always go to the right.
Yeah.
No, you have to catch a bird and go to the left.
Hmm.
And so, but then there's like a whole thing with the little shock things, and it's like difficult, and you have a birdie fight. And when you get to Warp, he's actually not that hard.
Hmm.
But all these years of playing it, and I mean, I finished Mario 3, I don't even know how many times, in Mario 1, but that was the one that I couldn't get. So that's been my big video game news.
Nice.
I really haven't been playing much anything else. Obviously, we know I've been playing Halo. Alex knows because every time I log in, it's like Ben's playing Halo.
Well, Discord kind of tells on you.
Oh yeah, but
That's why I have my Discord stuff turned off for that kind of stuff.
so you can't text me later and be like, "What are you doing right now?" I'm playing Halo. Or one of these days we'll get Alex to play maybe a round or two. It has gotten much better. If we could do like a big level battle, they have ones now where you can just fight AI.
So no, the answer is probably no. But there is something that I did just download, or is downloading maybe, as we speak. Um, I downloaded DC Universe Online.
I heard it kind of funny talking about it, and I'm like, God, I played that a long, long, long time
I've
ago.
never played it, but I watched them do the new Brainiac stuff, and then I also know like it's a free game and there's a bunch of stuff on it already. But like listening to Brainiac, like he was Corey Burton or whoever. Like it's the actor who plays Brainiac in the AU like
Yeah,
cartoons. And I know they have like other voice actors from the cartoons and stuff in that too. Um, so I was looking it up online though before we started and all this, and it looks like you just need PlayStation Plus or what have you in order to play. Um, but if you're doing it on computer, you have to pay a different way. You have to like pay monthly or something through this other thing.
yeah. Are
So
you playing it on the computer or your PS5?
I downloaded it on my PS5 since the PS5 version came out like last week, like last Friday or
Yeah.
something. So
I was gonna download it. I haven't yet, but now that you did, maybe we can like play at the same time. I
yeah,
think I have a better chance of playing that with you than Halo. So, but speaking of video games, one thing we kind of want to kind of talk about. So, Summer Game Fest is happening. They have their schedule up.
yeah.
And normally we don't talk about new stuff, but this is like the height of video games because now there's no more E3, Summer Game Fest, and there's like a IGN thing. I don't know what they're calling it. IGN does like movies, TVs, video games, everything. Summer Game Fest is just games. This is done by Jeff Keighley, the person that does the video game awards every year. And I think we're not going to do hey, this is what they're going to talk about. But I think this year, because this is the only thing there is, I think we're going to see some pretty big announcements. So we're going to kind of go through the schedule, talk about what we think we're going to see or how it's going to go. But it all starts June 7th is when Game Fest starts. So they're doing um, like a start thing there, and it starts at 2 specific time, 5 Eastern time. And they're probably going to do a quick thing because right after that, they go into the developers annual game showcase. So I'm not sure what that
Wait.
is.
Okay. I'm looking.
Because you see it starts at 5 Eastern time. Well, I guess that starts.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a live from YouTube Theater stuff. So, initially with Summer Games Fest starting, so that's Jeff Keighley talking a little bit. He might show some things on the stage, like remember when they showed Last of Us
Oh,
factions or
yeah.
whatever. So there might be a little bit of that, but then after that, it says it's Day of the Dev stuff. And so that does include Devolver Digital's Devolver
Yeah.
Direct, which are, you ever watch those old thing or those like Too Many Cooks or like those infomercial type stuff from Adult
Oh,
Swim,
yeah.
like at like 3 a.m. That's essentially what Devolver showcases are. They're weird parodies that get really creepy and like creepypasta type stuff to them. And like there was one where it was like a Nintendo Direct essentially, and it was just like weird things happened or whatever. So
Yeah. I
and
think I
Devolver
remember
does
that.
and Devolver does a lot of in like publishing of indie games and all that. So like we could probably see some interesting indie games at that time. Because like I know, I'm trying to think of a Devolver game, to be honest. I can't uh, right now, but I know like was it like My Friend Pedro or whatever?
Oh, yeah.
Like that was one. The Gorilla one, I forget what that was called, but that was one. Like the not Ape Escape, but like it was some Gorilla game. I remember.
I
I think
remember that because they talked about it kind of funny.
yeah, and I think there was like some other um or like other games. I just know that Devolver does a bunch of stuff. I can look in that in here in a second, but yeah, having Day of the Devs now, I don't know if this includes like other dev things that aren't necessarily um part of this, or maybe they'll talk about that stuff in these later days thing. Um but there's certain things I'm looking forward to, so I'm hoping that we see certain indie games where they're at now and all that kind of stuff, because um like we were talking about it, was it was last week or something, but where I was talking about it, there's that game called Unbeatable, which is like that rhythm game,
Oh, yeah.
and I don't know where that's at really, because they haven't really talked about it for a while. It was tentatively supposed to come out last year, but it didn't. So maybe we'll see some stuff here, because I think we saw it on a Day of the Devs before, and that's when I kind of found out about it. So yeah, I'm looking here at Devolver Digital Games. They've done a lot of publishing of like Serious Sam HD, Hotline Miami. They did let's see, what's some newer stuff that you might know? Broforce, Downwell, um, Shadow Warrior 2, um, Talos Principle, My friend Pedro, Gato Robato, Katana Zero, Ape Out. That's what it's called.
Yeah,
Um,
I remember
the
them. Like
Messenger.
they had quite a few bigger games. Um, in the summer game fest starts at 5 o'clock Eastern time.
Yeah,
This doesn't start till 8 p.m. So there's several hours in there between the two.
yeah,
It should be interesting because knowing Jeff Keighley, he's going to want to start this one off with a bang.
hmm
So who knows what he's got in those couple hours, and then and so like for this is these two happen on the 7th. This whole thing takes place in 3 days.
yeah,
So the next day you got future of plays direct, and you also have the wholesome direct, which is indie showcase celebrating games emotionally, video games that inspire optimism, joy, and introspect. And then this is a heavy day. So then you also have the Latin American Game Showcase, and then they end with the Summer Game Fest starting at 2:30 Eastern Time, but they start off at 11 Eastern Time. So these look like they're about an hour apiece. Um, one's at 11, one's at 12, one's at 1, and then at 2:30 they started. So the Latin Showcase so one's an hour and a half. I love how they pack these in here.
hmm
You know, I feel like it gives you that E3 vibe.
yeah.
That's what I miss. I'm gonna say it, and people are gonna be like, "Oh, G4 sucks." Old G4. Remember they used to be there, and it was Kevin, and it was everybody, and they would be like all day long.
So
I
I didn't really watch G4 for that. I really looked into I actually no maybe. But like I watched like game trailers a lot, like that
Yeah,
website. And I remember they used to have a lot of press and stuff for this kind of stuff. Like I remember watching giant enemy crab hit its weak point for massive damage. Like I remember watching that live. And just all that other crazy kind of stuff there. But then eventually IGN kind of took over and um for the better, I would say. I think the web format, and then also even when E3 did exist, like I enjoyed IGN's walkarounds and stuff way
yeah.
more than G4, because G4, it needed ratings, it needed to show certain things, whereas like IGN would be like, yeah, I'll show you this random game that like no one cares about but you. Cool.
But did it have Olivia Munn asking people on the floor, which would freak people out? It was the best thing ever. She would ask them questions, right? So
Yeah.
she'd be on the floor and she'd ask him questions, and people just were like, "Holy crap, this is Olivia Munn. I don't know what to say to her."
Yeah.
Or some of the other women that work for G4. Or sometimes they send Kevin Pereira down, which was even funnier because Kevin would like make jokes if you weren't talking.
Yeah.
But like I remember my DVR would get full
Yeah.
because I would record all day long, and there would be Xbox,
hmm
Nintendo, and then Sony. But that second day is a huge packed. What I find crazy is by 2:30 in the afternoon they have Summer Game Fest again, and this one is like what's new from women-led studios, exclusive deep dives and launch dates, announcements live on YouTube, Twitch, and Steam. I feel like there's going to be more announcements. Knowing Jeff Keighley, here's the crazy thing: is like he's. I don't think there's going to be like crazy announcements because Nintendo and Sony still have theirs, and then we'll
hmm
get to more some of the other ones. And Xbox has one too. I don't think there's going to be like the big studios, right? You're not going to see something from Xbox on there or Nintendo or Sony. But what you have mentioned before is we haven't seen a Kingdom Hearts trailer for a while. Square Enix loves Jeff Keighley, so maybe they do something with that. Um,
Maybe.
I mean, it's going to be an interesting thing to watch because that's 11 a.m. Pacific time, which would be a prime time to do some large games.
hmm
Um, are we going to see another? Are we going to see another Grand Theft Auto trailer? Maybe. I don't know.
Doubt
I
it.
don't. I doubt we're going to see anything. That game has just been a nightmare from day one, and I don't. I don't know how it's going to go. Um, but as oh, I'm sorry. One thing I didn't add in there was there's also the Future Game Show, which is on June 8th as well at 3 o'clock. So they have a
Mm.
half hour of Summer Game Fest. Then they go into this here, and this is Future Summer Showcase of PC and console games. So that could be anything, really.
Mhm.
I don't think you're gonna. I don't think you're gonna get like the big ones from the three, but I still think you're gonna get some crazy stuff.
I forget what's normally a future game showcase. Future game show, summer showcase. Um, yeah, I really don't remember. I know it's kind of indie type stuff for the most part or published things, but like it could be anything, like you said.
Yeah. So after this is a huge day, right? This is day three, day two. So by day four, they have the Xbox Showcase. It's Sunday, June 9th at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time or 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is probably going to be an hour or so, is my guess.
Yeah,
Because right,
they're normally a little over an hour to an
yeah,
hour and a half, I would
because
say.
right after it, they're doing a Call of Duty one. Now, here's something I want to throw out to you, Alex. This has been on my mind for a while now. Now that Xbox owns Call of Duty, do you think that they'll do a special edition console for Call of Duty because those flat
No,
things don't work? You don't think they will?
no, they're gonna do those flat things.
Because I feel like in the back of the day, they've done a Call of Duty Xbox.
They're not gonna do it. They're just gonna do those wrap things, and
Oh
that's
man,
all you're gonna have to deal with.
the days that we've lost special edition consoles is highly disappointing. Nintendo still does it. So that the rumors, and these are all rumors. I've seen them all over the place.
Hmm.
It, they because no one has anything big coming out, but they're going to show some pretty big trailers for stuff.
Yeah.
I know Call of Duty is going to be Game Pass
Hmm.
day one. But my thing is, it's like, okay, so last year wasn't a good year for us. This year we've had nothing. So this year we got to come out and go, hey, these are some very big titles. I would love to see something that's been quiet for a while. They come out and say, bam, here it is. It's gonna be an Xbox.
Do we know if Call of Duty is Game Pass for PC as well? I mean, they can do whatever because they own Activision, but I wonder if they would rather be like, all right, Xbox, you get Call of Duty on here on your Game Pass, and then PC players, we know you really like Steam or whatever, so you can go ahead and just buy it because we want money from you.
That's crazy. Like me personally, because it's been such a crazy year, I think more people would sign up for Game Pass if they got Call of Duty on PC and for the console.
I don't know. People are weird though. They don't like launchers, so like they would much rather. It's like with Epic or whatever. They would much rather have their game on Steam than to have it through Xbox's launcher.
That's crazy to me. I mean, I think because the only thing I do know is it's cross-platform.
Hmm.
So, but how cool would that be if you had a couple rounds on your PC and you're like, I want to go to my room and play, right?
Hmm.
And so then you turn on your Xbox, which the thing I love is it syncs the data pretty quick.
Yeah.
So if I'm playing Halo here and I want to play in the living room, it will automatically sync that over and I could jump right into a game, which that's what I love about Xbox. So to me personally, that makes more sense. What they're going to do, I don't know. They
Hmm.
know they have to do something because this has not been a good year for Xbox. Their consoles aren't selling very well. The biggest rumor is they're going to have a new console come out. That's the only reason why I'm like, well, think what makes perfect sense? A Call of Duty console, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I think it'd be smart for them to do a Call of Duty consoles. They seem to sell really well.
I don't know
But
if
I tell
anyone cares about special editions anymore. I guess as well, just because of the way that the economy is and all that, and the way that you can't really, or for the longest time, you couldn't find consoles and the chip shortages and all that. Maybe that's why we're not seeing as many special editions as we normally
mm,
do. The only reason why we see them with Nintendo is because they already have the technology, so it's just a lot easier to just reinvent all their stock. Um,
yeah,
so yeah, I'm not sure if we will see one. I also don't know, like scalpers and maybe some certain fans and stuff will buy it, but like I don't think the normal person is going to be like, man, I want that Destiny PS4. Even like people liked that because it was white. They didn't care
yeah.
that was Destiny. Um So,
I mean, I will tell you the Xbox they did for the Xbox Series X, the Halo one, that is the coolest looking one I've ever seen. And Xbox always puts special sounds in them.
mhm,
So it would have a special sound booting up, it would have a special sound if you reset it, and a special sound if you turn it off. And the thing is no one bought it because it was, it sold out really quick. Now they're like $1,000 a piece. It's insane. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know what they would be planning. I don't even know if they're doing a console this year. The only thing left with them is they have the PC show presented by PC Gamer. PC Showcase showing the latest, greatest in PC games. Back for its 10th year. Expect announcements for your favorite games and a few surprises. See, this is what Jeff does. He entices you with that, oh, there's going to be surprises.
mm,
And then you're just like, holy crap. Um, I don't know. I feel like everybody in the industry loves Jeff Keighley.
mhm,
This is the thing to watch this year. No one else is really doing anything. IGN has their own thing. IGN's also going to focus on like Netflix and the streaming services that are going to show their like, hey, this is, you'll probably see like, I know that they've talked about there's going to be a Stranger Things teaser trailer for IGN, which is not surprising. They may have a Cobra Kai one,
mhm.
um, but they'll have like movies as well. They'll do some things there. I don't think you'll see, to be honest, I doubt you'll see anything for uh Deadpool and Wolverine because they've already shown all that,
Yeah.
but you will see other things. I don't know. Does this give you the same effects as when E3 was there, or is this like, man, I miss E3?
Um, I don't know yet because we don't know what the other two are doing. This gives me, if you take out the Xbox out of there, yeah, this gives me a lot of E3 vibes, like Saturday morning type vibes. Um, like Friday afternoon, Saturday morning, afternoon type stuff because like you got a lot of the indies, you got a lot of these random things happening, PC game show, all that kind of stuff. Um so like I'm kind of just already used to this. I don't know how much of this I'm actually going to watch on my own cuz last year I barely watched any, I want to say. I really only watched like the main stuff or I watched them later after they already came out as like a VOD.
Right.
So yeah, it just really depends on what I know that's showing up or if I'm just available. But yeah, E3 and this are different enough, I feel, to where I don't think you can really compare the two.
Right.
I feel that just I do miss seeing people walking around doing things. I miss seeing like in depth, like people on the couch, talking about a game, and then you see the game, like those types of interviews. You'll probably see some of these in some of these directs or what have you. Or you might see some of this in. I don't think Kind of Funny is doing something this year, but like I know they generally do like their indie thing now once a year.
Oh yeah.
So like if I want something like that, I'll watch that instead. As for Xbox, it's interesting that Xbox is partnering with Jeff still, whereas PlayStation and Nintendo are just kind of doing their own thing. And I don't think it has anything to deal with. Well, those two are Japanese companies and one isn't. I don't think that's the case.
Oh no.
Because well, I'm just saying like as well, like different mentalities and things. But as far as like businesses go, but PlayStation is like one of the most American companies at this point. I feel just the way that they
Oh
try
yeah.
to like they get rid of all their Japanese developers essentially. Um, I mean, granted, I guess Microsoft just did the same thing, but yeah, it'd be interesting to see what's happening with Microsoft. I have no expectations for Microsoft.
Oh yeah.
Um, I don't think we're seeing Elder Scrolls 6. I don't think we're seeing Fallout, whatever. You might get a teaser for maybe like a new season of Fallout or conceptual stuff for Fallout, or maybe just more 76 stuff. Um, is Elder Scrolls Online still happening? Like, is that still a thing that people
Uh,
support, or
yeah,
like?
people. I don't know if people support it, but it's still a thing. I thought they just had an update with some stuff. Um, my thing is this: is it does a little bit, even though the other two aren't there. But like, um, my thing is like, even with the big three, when the other two do their showcases, I have no expectation of what we're gonna see
Yeah, I just like
because
seeing things.
yeah, like Nintendo's like, you know, we don't have anything major coming out.
Hmm.
Um, they saw Luigi's Mansion, which they'll probably show. Um, but that's the only thing I knew of that they were like officially said yes. We might see a new Pokemon game. I don't really know. You're not going to see a new Zelda. You may see some more HD remaster, maybe, but I don't
It
know.
was
I really
confirmed
don't.
by, I forget her name, but it was confirmed by the Sega person who's not really Sega, like the leaker. Um, I want to say that Dragon Quest HD 2D is going to be shown off at the Nintendo Direct, because like they
That
just
makes
showed a
sense.
they just showed a teaser or whatever recently for the anniversary of Dragon Quest. Um, but also I also heard something else too, where this Dragon Quest HD 2D is just going straight to everything, like on day one.
Yeah, that makes sense. Um,
So
so I mean, I don't know. And Xbox, like you said, I'm the same way. Like, I don't. There's no expectations I have. I'm glad they took Call of Duty and doing their own thing for Call of Duty because that's the way it should be. Like they spend so much time with it that there's not room for anything else. I think the only thing that is guaranteed is we'll see something for Forza. That is probably you'll see. But I don't know. And then like when Sony does theirs, the only thing I think we will see some sort of trailer for Ghost too. But it's not coming out
no way,
this year.
we're
No,
not. No, I don't think we're seeing it at all.
I mean, who knows? So we'll have to wait and see for those. So the other two have not announced anything yet. My guess is Nintendo's going to announce something here, maybe for the end of June, and maybe something for Sony at the end of June. We'll have to wait and see. So, but it's funny you look at all this stuff for Summer Game Fest, and we should probably talk about all the energy you need to watch all of these things here. And I want to talk a little bit about Magic Mind. We've talked about it before in the podcast. They're friends of the show, but I really want to kind of talk about how it makes me personally feel. So, me personally, I was a person that would do a lot of caffeine, way too much, more coffee than I really needed to. Um, you know, I was talking with my father in law the other day. He's like, I remember when you would make a pot of coffee and drink the whole pot, you know, which is not good for me. Number one, coffee is better than some things I can drink, but then it would turn into, hey, I'm still tired. I need an energy drink in the morning. And so with Magic Mind, the first couple days that we got it, I was skeptical. I was like, this isn't going to work, you know? But after my second day, I started feeling better. I was sleeping at night because I wasn't getting the jitters from too much caffeine. Um, I just had it in the morning. I had it with like a cup of coffee sometimes. And then I was set the whole day and I felt focused. My thoughts were clear.
Hmm.
I didn't have that cloudiness of like, oh, I need caffeine like later in the day. And so that's why I use it. That's why I like it. What about you, Alex? I mean, I know you did a lot of soda before, but how has it changed like with you just trying some of this stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I used to back in the day. I used to be a big coffee drinker, and I don't mean like I used to drink a lot of coffee. I mean, I would get a big coffee and drink that the whole day. And I would do that for quite a while, and as you said, like there's that crash if you just keep craving more and more and more. Same thing with like different types of soda or whatever. You're drinking it, and you I don't know, you have those headaches sometimes, drinking too much soda, or you don't feel quite right. You having a hard time sleeping just because the not necessarily the caffeine, but like the other stuff in the soda just like isn't good for you. And so it's just making you, yeah, not sleep right, not feel great. But yeah, ever since we had Magic Mind, ever since we started using it, as you said, like especially in that beginning part, um I'm always skeptical about new things, but actually trying it and like drinking it, like it helped out a ton. Um I do not um need any coffee or anything in the morning like I used to, like even just like drink a soda or something in the morning.
Oh yeah,
But now like they just, the kickstart, like to wake up my day, start my day. But now I can just drink a single thing of Magic Mind, and I don't feel like the need that I need to drink something else. I don't feel tired. I don't feel cloudy. I don't know, like there's just a bunch of things that like just it clearly helps compared to other sorts of things that you've seen before, either online or what have you. It actually helps, and it does
yeah,
make your day to day just a lot better compared to other things.
yeah. I think the thing that I really liked about it as well. So all the ingredients are natural, um, which is a rare thing nowadays to find actual natural ingredients. So there's no sugar. It's nut free, vegan, keto, paleo friendly. So if you are doing those, it's good. Because they're friends of the show, we're gonna do like a discount code here for you to try them out. I would honestly say try it out, see what you think. The best part is like what I've noticed with them is they really want the product to get out there and they really want you to try it. But if you don't like it, is 100% money back guarantee. And they normally refund you in like 3 to 4 hours, which nobody does.
Yeah.
So if you liked our stories and you really want to give it a try, because Magic Mind is our friends, they're going to give you a percentage off. So you can get up to 56% off of a subscription or 20% off a one time uh, purchase. We got a code there. The website is www.magicmind.com/get at it games. So that is GETATITGAMES. So magicmind.com/get at it games. And the code is get at it 20. So that's GETATIT 20. That will give you 20% off of a one time purchase or 56% off a subscription. I always tell people to give it a try. You have really nothing to lose because you know what? If you don't like it, let them know.
Yeah.
Let them know that Get At It Gaming sent you that way. And then, like I said, you'll like it, and if not, they'll take care of you. So, which is awesome. So, we want to thank them for being our friends here. But as we're moving on, I think there was a little bit of time ago where Alex and we got a code, and so we got a code for Cryptmaster, which you can actually watch that quick review that Alex did on YouTube. But we want to have a more in-depth conversation about it. We are not going to spoil the game whatsoever. Okay. So we just want to have a little bit of time to kind of talk about it and to really kind of, label it down of like, hey, these are our personal thoughts.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, definitely. We were originally going to do something like this much earlier, but due to unforeseen circumstances, we opted to do the video first instead of flipping it. So um, yeah, as you said, we're kind of just gonna go over a little bit of the basics, but also basically rehash what the video said, to be honest, but it's a little more in depth, with Ben's commentary as well, because a lot of that video was mostly me. I'm not trying to be like
no, no,
I want your actual like stuff in here as well. And
no.
I know
And
we've had discussions and stuff about the game prior to that video coming out and all that, but like I want to make sure your voice is heard for this typing of the dead type game.
yeah, so that's what got me was the kicker. So when I get it, I booted, I downloaded it, I loaded it up. It literally is like a typing dungeon crawler RPG. And The thing that got me, so I'm not going to go into details of the story, but I really want to talk about the visuals. The visuals are really good. It's
Yeah,
very weird. Like, okay, so as the game starts, I will say, you just get this face, and I'm like, what is this?
yeah.
Right? And for Alex, it doesn't like to play scary games at all. I was worried because I was like, oh man, he's gonna hate this. But I loved the visuals. The main person, you hear him talk through the whole game.
He's
So
so good.
he's so good. And I love the thing I really like the most is it's not just like scary, blah, blah, blah. It's meant to be entertaining because some of the commentary is really funny. Um, it's all done in black and white shading. So it looks like it was a cartoon shaded black and white, which is crazy.
Yeah, it looks
So
like a
this is,
really fancy comic book.
yeah, it really does. And so you get in this game, and all of your characters were dead at one point, but the goal is to get out of where you're at. Like, so you're going through these dungeons. Each dungeon has set up different quests, and you have to go through them. And it's crazy because the person, the Cryptmaster you talk to, is like walking you through stuff. But like literally, when you get into a battle,
Hmm.
you start typing. So you type hit, and then each one of the characters has their own thing.
Yeah,
Um, and you can earn more by finding chests or discovering when you do different things, you earn letters. So you could like it's like here's what my thought is. It is a dungeon crawling typing game mixed with a little bit of Wheel of Fortune.
yeah, definitely.
I mean, basically, yeah.
Or for those I don't know, the newer kids, it's mixed with Wordle.
Yes.
My
God, I keep
daily
forgetting my age.
I do, yeah, I do Wordle, a little bit of translation. Like I do Wordle like every day. So like,
Oh, my wife.
well,
Oh,
I've been
nice.
actually been doing it more after I played this game because now I feel like I'm a little better at Wordle because I'm like I found out what this spell is, so I'm better at Wordle now.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean you hit the nail on the head about a lot of this stuff. I still think this is pretty cool that this, for the most part, like this game was created by two people, Paul Hart and Lee Williams, which I think that's really cool to see.
Yeah, that's
That
crazy.
Akupara Games took. I don't know if they've done anything else with them, but potentially took a chance on them and were able to get this published and out. I remember seeing people play a demo of this like last year, like maybe around like November, December, and I heard a bunch of people like talk about this game, but I didn't know any context about it. I didn't know any visuals. I didn't know anything about that. I just remember people saying like, "Oh, this is a game that you should have on your radar." And I was
Yeah.
like, "All right," and then I forgot about it. But when we got the offer for the codes, you're like, yes, yes, 100%. We need these codes, and so you got two codes, and then as soon as I saw the art style, I was like, oh no, this is gonna be too scary. This is gonna be too scary for me. I'm gonna power through it because we were gracious or we were able to get things that normally like other people can't get. So of course I'm going to actually take advantage of that, like, and actually play it and do what we told them we were going to do. And so after playing it a bit, I'm like, oh, it's not scary. It's just that type of like gothic art style. Um, and yeah, I really enjoy having all of your characters there. Um, because you get all of them. There's Joro, Sin, Maz, and Nyx, and like Joro's more like a warrior, and then some of them are like different other things. Like I believe Nyx is more like a magician, and then Maz
Yeah.
is like a bard. I forget what Sin is. I believe a thief. Um, it's been a hot minute since I actually remember like what they are. Um, because I just remember them being like, oh, with Nyx I can type crabs really quick, and then with this person I can do with Maz I can do sing, so I can wake up Sin and Nyx again to to because they have their own cooldowns and all that kind of stuff. So Yeah, initially I was trepidatious about like playing this game, but then yeah, after actually playing it, I was like, oh, this is really unique, very indie, in the best way possible. Um, I don't mean that to be like a derogatory term or anything, being indie, but like I think it feels, when I think of an indie game, I think of something different and unique and takes a spin on things. Like I'm expecting to see other games try to copy something like this in the future.
Yeah.
Um, and um, I like I've liked typing games in the past. I really like Typing the Dead. In my review, I made fun of like Mavis Beacon or something like that. I didn't talk about Mario teaches typing. I should have, but I think I might have commented something about that. But like yeah, I when I was a kid, I used to do a lot of the, we had computer lab time, and so we would go over there and we would play educational games for like maybe only 30 minutes. It felt like forever since you were a kid, so you don't have any sort of concept of time. But I'm like, man, I'm playing some Magic School Bus games, or I'm playing Oregon Trail, I'm playing all these kind of things. And like sometimes they're just like, all right, play Mavis Beacon, and you're like, all right, I guess I'll learn how to type. And I'm so thankful for that, because I can actually play this game a lot better than like even some people I know like in their adult life. Like I don't know about you, but I don't know how well you are at like typing or whatever, but I know people who can't type without looking. Like they have to look at the
Oh
keyboard,
yeah.
and I don't. Like, the only time I have to look at the keyboard is for like a percent sign or some like shift number character. But everything else, like I don't need to do that anymore, so
Yeah,
it
I find
helps
that
out a
kind of
ton.
I find that so crazy when you see people doing like the fingers, like like at this day and age, you know. Uh, so I used to type over 60 words a minute, probably not now, but like I love how, so when we got this and I booted it up, I didn't know it was a typing game, and it's so well balanced with that. Now I do want to stress that once it starts off pretty much slower and easier, it does ramp up to a harder difficulty. But people that are used to those hardcore dungeon crawlers like Shadowgate and some of these older ones, where literally as you go through the hallways, I'm typing, "What would you like to do next?" Or this. This would really appeal to them.
Yeah,
But me, that I don't play those games, I thought it was really well done. And I think what got me was the humor and some of the other things that were happening.
yeah.
Um, and and so, there's not a lot of music in there, but the sound is really well done.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you walk away from characters, you can hear them still talking somewhat, you know?
Yeah, they're like awkwardly like mumbling because they're zombies, so like they just
Yeah.
go like or whatever, and like they each have their own type of way that they speak as well, and so they each have their own type of voice. So I think that's really good sound design. You did also talk about that, but I talked about this in our little video, especially with sound design, is that you should really wear headphones while playing this game,
Oh, absolutely.
because you at a certain point you get the soul stone, or soul stone, I forget what it's called, but you get that, and you're able to um basically get souls from different things. And so you mostly get it from bugs by typing in, um finding a bug, typing in their name when it appears, and then you obtain its souls. But then you also obtain bug stuff which you can use for like potions later.
Yeah.
But using headphones, like you won't necessarily know where the bugs are unless you're listening. And because of the way that the audio is, like I can hear, I don't know exactly what type of audio things they're doing. Like this isn't like what's his name with PlayStation. Like he didn't take a picture of my ear and like try to listen to the whole thing and like see how I
Right.
listen to stuff. But like I feel like if there is something like right behind me, but like let's say like southeast, I feel like I can like hear that kind of like in my ear. I'll be like, okay, cool, so I know it's behind me, and then it's like a little bit to my left after that. And so I can actually go and, oh, there's the bug that I heard, and I type it in and it's dead and I got the souls, and then now I don't hear any more bugs. So you can really use like the atmosphere of the sound design there to find things a lot easier. So yeah, if you haven't played this game before, or if you're still playing it, like I highly recommend wearing headphones because it helps out. It's a godsend.
Yeah, so, like, we don't really have, like, a rating scale here, we never have,
Not
but,
yet.
like not yet. We would like to work on one, we wanna do more reviews. So, Alex, if you had to buy this or not buy it, would you buy it?
Um so at the end of the day, I want to look at the price as well because I just want to factor that in into this. Because I don't remember how much this costs. Um 25 on Steam, so American $25. So at the end of the day, for what this is, for how fun it is, how interesting it is, um I I would definitely recommend people buy this. If you're good at typing, for one. If you're not, there is an option to speak it. I know that kind of defeats the purpose for certain things, but it's more of an accessibility thing, so you don't have to type instead, or you can do the turn-based mode instead. I personally didn't do that. I don't think you did either. We did the
Oh,
recommended
no.
like ATB type thing where like there's an hourglass and it flips every time, like, oh, the person keeps attacking us and we have to frantically try to type in spells to stop them. So if you're really good at typing and stuff and you enjoy typing type games, you enjoy a little bit of difficulty, I think it's a definite buy. If I didn't get this immediately, or like if I didn't know this existed, say from our preview and all of that, and I saw like I saw quite a few people talk about this. We talk about Kind of Funny all the time. Like I saw Greg Miller tweet about it. I saw them talk about it on their show even as well. I probably would have seen Greg Miller talk about it or someone talk about it and be like, I really like Typing the Dead. This kind of has a creepy thing to it, but I know that it's not scary because of things I've seen.
Right,
And
right.
yeah, I would probably buy it. So like even in like a vacuum, I feel like I would gravitate towards this game because I like these interesting types of games. And for $25 for a game like this that is pretty like in depth with its combat, as well as like there's a ton of spells and a ton of like memories that you get as well. There's I don't really remember like how long the game necessarily is, but for $25 I think that's a steal for this game. Honestly, I think they could probably charge a little more for this sort of thing. um but yeah, I think it's definitely worth the money for sure. This is a
Oh,
game
yeah.
I've been sharing our video for a lot, because especially for certain people where I'm like, hey, I know you really like Dungeons and Dragons, I know you really like tabletop games, I know you really like dungeon crawlers, you'll probably like this game. And sure enough, they're like, yeah, I would like this game actually. So I think it's going to be pretty successful. I can't wait to see what game they're going to do next. I don't know if it's going to be a typing thing, but whatever it is, I hope that um, it still has that great voice acting and that interactivity with it. Because there's certain parts, like we talked about the Cryptmaster, like I think he's hilarious. Um,
Oh, yeah.
but there's also the parts where like you go to like the shrines in the very beginning and he's like, desecrate the shrine, you should do this, do it. And you try to figure out how to do it and you can just type in anything to desecrate it. So I just wrote P, and my character Joro just started pissing on the shrine and it exploded. And the shrine lady was like, "Oh no, you broke my shrine! How dare you desecrate this?" And then it became a save point. Um, but I think the humor is great. I think if you type in certain things, then like he really reacts weird to it. He reacts to a lot of things. I did see where like as far as I know, like AI and stuff wasn't really used in this. It was just simple, like it was programming. Um, because like they react to a lot of different things that you write in here, and so I think that's pretty cool to see. Like, oh, I can type in this random word, and the Cryptmaster would be like, "What? Why are you talking about this?" And he would like actually say the word. So like,
Yeah,
it's not just like a blank sign, like a blank space from where he's like this, why would you talk about this, like he's actually saying the word each time for the most part, unless he thinks that you're saying nothing. um
yeah.
but yeah,
And
it's super cool.
I'll back you up on that. Like, I think this would be one I would buy. I really do. I over the years, I've gotten into a lot of indie games. If you look at my Switch collection, I have the stereotypical ones, but a lot of these ones were ones that no one's ever heard of, independent. What I A lot of what Alex said about backing it up is I've never been big into the dungeon crawler, but this is a new take on it, which makes it very unique. Sometimes it's nice to get something that's unique, and this is definitely there. $25, I feel, is a fair price for what it is, and so I would definitely buy it. And again, just to clarify, we did get codes for this, but all the opinions are we're going to tell it straight. We're not going to do it otherwise. But as our first one that we got a code for, this was pretty good.
Yeah,
Uh,
definitely. I mean, I guess I don't know if you're trying to wrap it up or not, but I want to kind of dive a little bit into that. Telling it straight, because we kind of did talk about, you kind of did talk about it just a second ago, but yeah, like yeah, we thought it became a little too difficult in the middle, and
yeah,
so like there were certain parts where I was not mad at the game. I was mad at myself for not being able to type as fast or actually do certain commands. So the way I did it is just that I waited for these characters, like the enemies, to walk around these tables or whatever and be far enough away so I could just straight shoot to the next exit. And then like after I got past that little part, then I was fine for a bit, and then it got a little hard again. But um, I don't know. Just practice makes perfect. I think it just playing the game helps you be better. You learn better spells as you keep playing, so like to do more powerful spells later on. I don't really want to spoil certain spells or whatever, because there's one that's like genius. I think it's really really good, that I use a lot. But yeah, we'll definitely tell it to you straight whenever you see these sorts of reviews and things like that. Like it's these are our opinions. We thank Akupara Games for giving us this opportunity and allowing us to play this game early, um, and even have like a video out on embargo day. I think that was really cool for us as a first. But yeah, fun game. Buy it.
absolutely. Well, that's been our episode today. I think, you know, if you get a chance, we actually did a 200th episode that came out last week, a special one. So we've hit over 200 episodes. Crazy, crazy. I want to throw that episode out there. I'll get that listed on all of our social media. We also found out we're on like 12 different sites to download from. So whether you're on Bullhorn, whether you're on, Google, we have the audio version there. We have our YouTube. Again, this is a bi-weekly podcast. We post every other week, usually unless it's a special one. You can find us on X. You can find us on Facebook. Um, Look us up if you are a streamer, if you are a podcaster, and say, hey, I would love to do a podcast with those guys because they seem really cool. Hit us up on one of our social media. Say, hey, this is what I do. I'd love to kind of, do a show with you guys. We will definitely do that. Um, yeah, I think I covered everything there. Is there anything else you want to say, Alex?
Not really much. Just to get at it.
Get at it.